people post relationships on IG, first of all? I don't even get that. Why do people even do that?
You never post a man.
But,
ever.
Right, on IG, right?
You never.
Please listen to her.
Ever.
Why do people...
So what are we talking about today then?
I don't know, Dawn. What do we want to talk about today?
We're talking about brokies.
Brokies. Whoa.
Don't deserve no.
She loved that song.
No, we talking about brokies because I feel like a lot of women have a very specific monetary standard that they put on men, only to miss out on some really great guys, because most men are not going to show where they stand financially up front, and women are consistently looking for that. So how do you get around that, Marcel?
Listen, I mean,
You don't take them to Capitol Grill on their first date?
I'm really about understanding any person and what they bring to the table. I agree with you, though. I think that's really a noble observation, that there's a lot of really good guys out here that might not be the wealthiest or the most educated and the tallest and all that nonsense that everybody uses for their criteria, but some really good people out here in general. And I think women kind of, you make a mistake when you just kind of like pigeonhole yourselves into that little box of what's supposed to happen. So for my guys out there that's trying to make it happen, but really good guys spiritually, mentally, physically, I'm on board with them.
Yeah, but realistically speaking, as a man, you are held to a higher standard. And financially, you should be in a particular place. I know I teach my son that. Your job is to, take care of your wife.
Your provider,
yes. Get married. So you need to get yourself together. You can't just be broke. You have to figure it out. But my whole point in that is I wouldn't judge a guy just off of, how much money you make, because you never know. Like, I've met guys before who were not employed, but they own, say, 60 units. And they had income coming in from that. Now, you're not going to get that information up front. You're going to have to take time to know that. So it is taking time to get to know people, but under no circumstances do I say date a guy just because he's nice, because that is a recipe for disaster.
Yes. I mean, I definitely think it's important to have a checklist. I know a lot of people, I know people shun the checklist, but I think when you reach a certain age, you do know what you want. And you have to be clear and concise with those things that you want. You have to be honest with yourself. I'm sure there's plenty of nice people out there, but maybe I don't get the opportunity to know these nice people because I'm looking for something different at this season of my life.
I feel you. I'm just not going to know it. So because, people will always say, well, what if I won't ever know that he was a great guy.
Right.
Because as soon as I find out that you work at Wendy's, I'm not calling you ever again. Right. Like, bloop, and you're blocked.
Yes, that's a lot, Dawn. That's a lot. Again, I mean, I respect.
You're not talking to a girl that, well, y'all men are different. Y'all will talk to somebody that work at Wendy's.
That's not true. Well, again, I'm not speaking for the entire gender here because that's impossible. I mean, again, certain guys, maybe that's just what they like. I mean, he might like that Wendy's uniform, and that's just he going hard on the Wendy's. I mean, that's everybody. That's to each person's own, their perspective where they are in life. I respect what you're saying from a standpoint of, listen, this is where I am in life, and this is the kind of person I'm attracted to. I get it. But it's what you open with, though. I think that if she, and I'm just going from a female's perspective, if she is really like already established and she has a certain level of just, she's really solid. I mean, I'm not saying that dating somebody at Burger King is cool, but I mean, if he's making a decent salary and he's working a decent job and he's on an average level, he should be taken into consideration.
Why do you want average? You don't
what
want
I'm saying is because
no
it's about, we're talking about companionship.
Let's be clear here. We don't want average in no other area of our life. As entrepreneurs, we always strive for greatness in every area of our life. But then when it comes to dating, especially when it comes to women over 40, you all feel like we should go subpar because of our age and because of these goddamn ratios that you want to keep throwing out here every 5 minutes. But at the end of the day, why would I date average? I don't have to. Not to mention, have you seen the price of houses lately? A mortgage is going to be $6,000, $7,000 a month. Your Burger King salary is not helping pay any of that.
I'm just saying.
We're going to pass.
No, I think again,
on the burger
when it's
flipper.
all said and done though, right? Like, I don't believe that when we're here on this planet doing everything we're doing, we're meant to be isolated and alone, right? So the question does become, when you're really trying to think through the next steps of your life, how do you want to spend it? I think that from my personal perspective, I would never want to land in a space that, I've done all of this and then yet I'm alone because I was incredibly selective. Like, that's just not, I've been down that road, right? I'm not comparing everybody to my ex-wife because that wouldn't be a fair bar for a lot of women. So that's my point. Like, I had to move away from that and go, that's cool. That was a part of my life. But really just like looking at somebody for who they are and what they're bringing to the table. And again, I'm not flexing on any numbers that she needs to make. It's just kind of like, all right, what are we connecting? Are we tight? Is our companionship there? Is she my best friend? I think those things take a higher precedence as you get older.
I do agree with you on that. However, I will say, let me ask you this. If you met someone who checked all those boxes, where you had chemistry and your core values were aligned, but you knew you had to downgrade your lifestyle in order to be with them, would you do that? Would you move to Temple Hills in a 2-bedroom apartment to live with them because that's all they can afford? Or do you say, you know what, this is not for me? You're saying basically let the love and the companionship trump your lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Because simply, I mean, I've lived in the 6-bedroom homes. I've lived in the 5-bedroom homes. I don't want to go back to living in an apartment in my 50s. I just don't want to. You know what I mean? So I do think it's important not to sacrifice the things that you want and desire.
I don't know what Dawn.
And you just
about.
don't give people a chance who don't meet that checklist.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, like you started with it though. I mean, from my personal perspective, that's just not a scenario that can transpire because whoever
you're the man.
Who's coming with me is coming with me.
Yeah, because
so
you're
they're
the man.
coming to me. I'm bringing her into my life.
Right. So it's different.
So it's different, right? So
would you tell your daughter to do that?
No, and you're absolutely right. Like I mean, but it's what we're talking about, and that's the thing about being consistent overall. When we start talking about things about generational wealth, generational wealth is created. That's one pillar that you have compatibility with someone. My kid needs to match up with someone that's handling his business because I've already taken us to this level. She mess around and get with the brokey and then pulling her ass down, and I'm looking at her like, bro, he ain't even bring anything to the table.
Like Benny's daughter.
So my point that's when we start talking about the overall, when people throw out that word about generational prosperities, then they need to understand it means it's
so much broader.
Right. It's not just what I bring to the table. Right. It's about teaching your kids, like you said, like this is where you are in life. Everybody's not going to be there. We worked hard to get you here. Now make the right choice.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So I'm agreeing with you. But at the same time, like I'm saying is, I don't think, and I agree with you on a lot of different things. I just think that if you are some multi-ass billionaire and you got paper and that's not even on your plate anymore,
right?
Then you can choose whoever the hell you want. If her ass broke, she just broke. You could bring her along for the ride because it's not about the cash, right? Mm-hmm. And that's all I'm saying. Like, it depends on the person. And then we just displayed that it applies differently to genders too.
It does.
It does definitely.
It's a flip there. So I think that's where a lot of the waters get muddy.
Definitely, because if you're brought along for the ride, do you feel the need to always meet every standard that this person sets on you? Do you really get the opportunity to walk in your authentic self? Because if I'm along for the ride, most people want to do everything that they can do to stay along for the ride. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that is losing who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Well, no, that's kind of...
Or not even getting the opportunity to know who you are as a person.
Especially the younger.
Because you do not want to miss this ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting on this train right here and I am not getting off.
But
I have not seen another opportunity like this, and I'm going to do everything that I have to do to stay in it. And a lot of times that means compromising who you are.
Yeah. And a lot of times I also question men when they want to date these like young women who don't know nothing, or women who are broke. Because I don't think men should date women who don't have their self together either, which a lot of men will choose to say, oh, because I'm set financially, I'll just date someone way beneath me. Mm-hmm. But now you're dealing with someone who don't understand money. They don't understand how it works. They think that because you make $200,000 a year, that you're paid, not knowing that the bills can still be tight at $200,000 a year. But because they've only made $20,000 a year, they're looking at you like, oh, you pay. You can afford to buy me that.
Yeah.
Oh, why you ain't go ahead and get that for me? You can afford that Louis bag. They don't get it. Their mentality is wrong. But you all constantly get into those situations. And those are the ones that's taking y'all ass to court for child support, that's getting alimony. And I'm like, why wouldn't you be with someone who's equally yoked? But that goes back to the alpha male shit. They always want to be alpha males and be over it and don't want to deal with a woman who's holding her own. Because it only makes sense. I got mine, you got yours, us together, we going to be great. But y'all deal with these little brokies are women too. These broke women who are bringing a broke mentality, a broke mindset to a relationship, and they're looking at you. Y'all like that. Oh, he paid, my man. He got all this money. He doing all this. He paid for my nails and all this stuff. Y'all be excited over that little, you gave him $40. And they excited.
Nah, hold on. I'm pushing back on all that. Like, that shit is
you know it's girls.
No.
It is very accurate.
Because first of all, where Dawn is way off, any real guy that's really worth his sense and his salt, you can see that kind of person a mile away. Nobody is making a really smart decision overall is going to be bringing on some chick that's looking for the bag. Like,
they do it all the time.
Excuse me. I pass up on that all day.
You might pass up on that, but not all of them.
The time to learn lesson here is when people do that, that's just a bad decision, Dawn.
Yes, I agree.
So I mean, like,
I agree with you on that.
Like you said, you're now bringing on somebody that can actually pull you down in the wrong direction because they spend all your paper because she don't have paper. Like, who sets themselves up for that?
A lot of people.
But again, so what you're pointing out again is that's just bad decision making because again, I always like to point within the culture. That's where we have to do better. You definitely should put all the nonsense aside and try to find somebody that is equally yoked.
I agree.
Right. So because anything outside of that on both sides, it never will end well.
I agree with you on that.
Now, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, from that standpoint, you're right. But again, like with my guys, I just think that it's unfortunate, specifically in the DMV, where my friends have to really Again, I have a lot of good friends, but I have a lot of friends that's just doing their thing. They not crushing it. But we're friends from childhood and they doing their thing. They live reasonable lives. They have reasonable spaces. They make reasonable money. Mm-hmm. I don't think they should ever be discounted, right?
They shouldn't. So, they reasonable women.
So what we're talking about is we're talking about levels to this thing, right?
Yeah, levels.
But I totally appreciate that argument. I just think again, everybody is best served understanding what works best for them.
And they should date within their league.
Right. And we can agree on that. You should don't date outside. Your ass don't be. I'm cool with punching up. It's cool, man. Go for it. Yeah. But like you said, when you are in a certain space in your life, then you're responsible for making sure that you're not placing somebody in your life that's going to pull on you or pull you
100%.
down. Yeah. So I mean, you absolutely right on that.
Like we were talking about before in the previous episode, like about Anthony Edwards. What do these professional sports players do? They date these women who don't have nowhere near what they have. And I know it's harder once you get to that level to find somebody right there, but they could date an actress or somebody else or an entertainer. But they choose to date these women, and now you're in these child support situations where you're trying to figure out, oh, I don't want to see the kid. I'm going to pay the child support in advance and all that. So they are just making bad decisions. Maybe you should be a mentor.
I think that again.
Just be a mentor.
I totally, again, I just have respect for everybody needs to just really appreciate where they are in life. And I think that, I don't really like to talk about levels and all that, but it's true. It's just true. There are levels to this thing. But at the same time, I think people are best suited if they can try to find the people that are where they are in life. And I like to close out at that.
Wow, that was interesting. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
He said he's scared.
Right. All right.
What's next?
But honestly, because to me that speaks to when we're talking about levels, and it is a double standard, and it speaks to maybe the next topic that we're talking about, dating, the age gap. Right. We're seeing but we're starting to see a lot of women who are dating
There are
younger.
a lot of cougars out there going young.
Share and Madonna dating young don't mean all of us want to date. I feel really awkward, like when a 30-something-year-old want to date me. It's just real weird to me. But I mean, I get approached so much by young guys. But I mean, I just can't do it. My son, he'll be 30 this year. What am I gonna do with that? I mean, but I don't introduce somebody to my kids anyway, so I could get away with it. So it don't really matter.
That's so the age gap you think is it?
I'm just not doing it. First of all, their conversation is whack. Let's start with the basics. Even the ones that are smart, you could tell they just don't have life experience.
Yes.
And the stuff that they say, you're like, nigga. Like, I just don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, I just don't do it. But for whatever reason, men, maybe because they develop later than women, men always like to date younger. So maybe they can relate to younger women and their immaturity.
I think that, that it's a societal setup though, right?
It really is.
So I think for generations, men have been getting away with dating younger women.
Yeah, because they're not that mature.
So regardless of whatever the floor is there, what I'm saying is overall time, and this for a long time now, men dating younger women has just been like, yeah,
that's regular, the standard.
Yeah,
but when it flips, y'all got cougar labels and all this. So it's a little different. But I think again,
like y'all 50 dating 25-year-olds.
No, but again, if you open that box, first of all, morally, I would always have a cap because, like you said, my daughter's 32. So why would I be dating a 32? She'll be looking at me like I'm crazy.
It's
like
weird.
So it makes me
it.
feel like that would not even be on the board.
Right.
But again, that's because where I stand morally as a person having a child. Some other guys probably like, yo,
don't
25.
Care.
Yeah, like they just don't understand because again, when you're holding down being a true, genuine parent role model, the first thing I'm thinking is this kid is as old as my kid. Right. What would that even look like to my daughter, weird. Right? So I don't even explore that, right? But there are other people, they just don't see it that way. And I think that's where it becomes muddied. I just think that, a person, again, for me, it's always a cap there on like the age group that I would be even interested in when it comes to dating.
So on the flip side of that, how do you feel about, since we all have you and I have adult children, your adult child dating someone your age?
I would have a fit. that Negro cannot come up in my house because it's going to be a problem.
I'm like,
my age walked up in there with my kid. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I can't even fathom that combination. She would know better. Like she would just know better. No way. I would just have so many problems with that situation.
But okay, so because you're what, 50?
2.
Okay, so you're 52. There are a lot of 52-year-old men dating 32-year-old women.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. It's
that's somebody's kid.
That's
you know what I mean?
Right.
And how do you introduce yourself to the parent?
How does that work?
That's like weird as hell to me.
It's
so
weird.
common.
It is.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really particularly care for it. I don't like it. I ain't doing it.
It is weird, and I thought about it initially, and this is going back when Jada Pinkett Smith was linked to the guy.
August Alsina.
Yes, that was her son's age. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me. And honestly, if that story was about a man, I don't think I would have been as appalled. So I probably fall into having a double standard when it comes to that as well, because I think it has been normalized for men to do it so much that you don't even think about it in that same aspect. But when a woman does it, it does feel,
I think it's
ugly.
weird when men do it too when they're too young.
Yeah.
But again, women are starting to
I get it. And that's weird.
A lot of women are holding up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you get up to a certain, and I'm not saying it's about you, Marcel, but you get to a certain age where all the men over 50 look the same, bald, round, like they almost
we giving up, right?
Yeah,
so I mean,
they be thinking they a prize, and we looking at them like, nigga, you regular.
You passed your prime. I'm actually agreeing with you on that, and that's what I'm saying. Like the script is flipped, and where women are like, okay, because like you said, men usually in the 50s, we just give it. It's all changing, and so we're not that prize that we used to be. So
get it together. Y'all need to get yourself together.
And there are a lot of women that are holding it down in their 40s and 50s.
We look good.
Right, and they can drop down and date a younger guy. And hold up, we can just bring it, and we can bring it to this. And sometimes we just have to recognize that they're doing it for physical.
I mean,
Possibly.
Right, like they just want. I mean, women could work it out too.
You can have a boy toy.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like it feels like that's like the movement now. Like women are just like, yeah, I can do my thing and have a boy toy, and it's not serious, and so what?
It is. What's wrong with that?
And I'm just saying,
the guys, they looking for sugar mamas.
That's so wild, right? These young kids.
Yeah, they're like, they think you about to take them shopping.
That generation's different. That younger generation, that 20s and 30s, they truly on what can you do for me?
Yeah.
That paradigm is different.
Care of them their whole life.
And they like
now they like, oh, let me find somebody else mama.
Take care of me.
Take care of me.
That's kind of crazy.
That's
too much. Yeah, it's a win. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of them are succeeding at that, because there are a lot of women who are at a financial space in their life. They honestly don't even want real companionship.
That's all I'm saying.
They don't want real companionship.
They just want somebody to keep them company, do their physical thing, and it's cool.
Right.
Yeah. It's like all the games that these 45 and over men be playing. Like, get your life together. They are full of.
Honestly, I'm in the camp where I kind of agree with what we're talking about overall. When you cross over 45, dating is a totally different paradigm now.
Yeah,
it's just not the same. And I think we all expect somebody to be that's plus 40 to have their life together. And when,
some of them don't.
And when they don't, therein lies the problem, right? You're kind of like, damn, you at this age and you don't have it together. And it just puts us in a real awkward space. So it's just tough to be dating over 45. So we just gotta all wing it. This is gonna be what it's gonna be.
Expect to wing it at this age.
Winging nothing at 45.
You guys gotta roll with what you get. No. I'm not saying that came off wrong. What I'm saying is you have, and I talked about this already. You have to accept where you are in life. You have to appreciate what you're doing in life. You have to go, I want to be in a relationship, but if that's not happening for me right now, let me focus on other things. That's it.
And like I said, I think that's maybe the view of your gender. A lot of women are choosing to just stay single in this day and age because they don't want to deal with the drama of it all. I mean, they've come to a place where they're in a good financial space. They want peace in their life. And I do think with the ratios that we constantly bring up, there's a level of stress, worry, anxiety that comes into your life when you're like, where is he now? Why he haven't called? I mean, we're so far beyond that. I don't want to move back to what I was thinking when I was 16 years old. Yeah. Why didn't he call? Are you really? So, I mean, I think women are making a conscious choice to date casually and on their own terms.
And let's just be clear, there's no shortage of men. There's a shortage of men who are qualified that want a commitment.
Yes.
You want to play? The playground is plentiful out this joint.
And
so it's just, if you want to settle down and get married, that's where it's a shortage.
And all I'm saying is it goes both ways. There, those of us that aren't in a marriage anymore, I think the one thing that both genders value is peace.
Yeah.
And I think, and me and all my guys that are single, we go, like, the one thing I'm not going to do is introduce something into my life that's going to be all this drama and shit I got to deal with, and baby daddies and all. Like, it goes both ways. You feel me? Like, I think people underestimate that, and it's the same thing but we've been doing it forever. Then we just go, you know what? I'm just going to date. And I'm just going to just, have this whoever in my life, but I just go do other things. And if I meet that person, because again, and that's a good thing about being plus 40, right? Plus 45, 50, you know what you want.
Not you, Marcel.
You know what works.
You date multiple people at
the
same time?
No, I did not just say that. I just said that. I just said the smartest thing to do.
I said the
smartest thing to do is, again, focus on what you do best. Keep the avenue open over there where if somebody comes in your life, fine. But you know what works for Dawn. Tanya knows what works for Tanya.
Yeah.
Marcel, I know what works for me. And until I have that, then I'm not going to, I got other shit to do.
And that's like your life is already plentiful.
Yeah.
It's like we work really hard to make sure that our life is full and fun and plentiful. But speaking on that, what's up with you meet a guy and, you ain't got time for me? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Sitting around twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to come along? It's like this fine line between living your life and being feminine enough to be available to men to date because they feel like you should be present and available to them at all times, especially when you're dating men of a certain, financial level.
Yeah, but that's an old school mindset, though.
It is,
really
but that's
is.
how they are.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
but that's how they are.
For my guys, we just have to adjust out of that because you can't have it both. Like, if you have a woman that's handling her business, doing her thing on an ongoing basis, you gotta let her be her. And like, you can't be all on that cooking and cleaning bullshit. That's dead. Like, that's what we got housekeeping services for, and that's why we can order shit. Like, that is done. Right. So it's like you have to be able to, because I think when guys come with that, it's that subservient mindset. They want to subordinate somewhere to make them feel better. Like, but no, new age guys, those of us that understand this where we are in life right now, you're not going to get both. You're going to either get a woman that's handling her business, doing her thing, and then y'all need to figure out how y'all going to work it together. Or you could have that woman that's going to stay home. But yeah, you paying all that. Like you're paying all them bills, and she going to be a stay-at-home wife. I have no problem with stay-at-home wives, but just understand that that's what you want. You want that person that's going to be subordinate. Then you need to cover all those costs and handle that. And if that's going to be your lives, fine. But you're not going to get an independent woman that's going to have to do everything she needs to do, handle her business, handle everything that's going on in her world, and then you want her to come home and do what? Like, y'all have to, all that's 50-50. All of that's 50-50.
Because I wonder what the percentage is about new age women. I mean, new age men that's out there, because I do think men still do expect you to cook and clean, even if you are working.
Yeah, nah, like I said, that's dead.
It's not dead.
I'm just saying for the guy that really wants to be realistic in what he can attain in a relationship, I think it's almost unfair.
It might be unfair, but I'm telling you, it's very realistic. I even recently met a guy who came to my house and was just like, "Oh, you live like a dude." Because all I got is some apples, some oranges and bananas, a few green juices in my refrigerator, and some champagne.
Liquids. That's exactly how we roll. A bunch of liquids up in my refrigerator.
I might got a few crackers in the pantry.
Yeah, some basic, something you can warm up and throw up in the oven.
But when I know you're coming over, I'm going to order some food.
There you go.
I mean, we're going to order in. What you want me to do?
This is all I'm saying.
You need me to have a chef come over and prepare dinner for you?
I mean,
listen. How you like your steak?
You got housekeeping services and all that.
They don't want that. They don't want that.
Yeah,
they want you to be standing there in your little boy shorts, flipping, making chicken wings and macaroni and cheese and stuff.
Again, that's what
they want. They have this thing in their head. So the girls who, hey boo, I made some macaroni and chicken wings. You coming over? Them the ones who be getting somebody. Cause I'm about to order them chicken wings. I'll be like, which chicken wings you want? I can get you every flavor.
That girl's crazy.
What's wrong with that?
Again,
I'm still giving you what you want.
I'm supporting exactly everything you're saying. Like I said, you got housekeeping services.
I got all that.
You got Uber Eats.
You in the minority.
You got everything. Like you have everything, and it's again, you can't be expected. Again, once in a while, do some chefing up in the kitchen or together. I mean, like again, why can't we do that together, right? Like
we can. Need you in my kitchen. I'm gonna make you a waffle.
Here come the stipulations.
Right.
I can't be in the kitchen.
That's a cute date night, I would think. Cooking together, doing things together, because it is how you kind of get to know people.
Do it
honestly,
together. That's all I'm saying. It's together, right?
Once we get to that point, we got to get. That's a couple of months down the line.
All right. Where we at?
I think we at the point where once you do all of these things, when do you pop out? Yeah, pop out and show.
You gotta pop out and show.
Yeah, that's that Instagram, internet. Right. Like, oh, I got my baby. Why do people even do that?
You never post a man.
Ever. Right, on IG, right?
You never.
Please listen to her. Ever. Why do people post relationships on IG, first of all? I don't even get that.
Until it's like, I said I do.
All right.
Until that, you do not post a man.
I mean, I think it's the culture that we live in. A lot of people overshare so much of their lives. So say you fly somebody out, they want to talk about that. They're going to show your feet, your hands, even if you don't let them show your face. They want to let people know that they're with their man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is an oversharing culture going on out there, honestly.
Any woman impressed by getting flued out is
You'd be surprised on.
Let's start with that.
You will be surprised.
You all sliced over
even at this age. Yeah.
And it's in exchange for some kitty cat.
The flying you out.
But I don't think that you would like that.
Flying you out without smashing.
Well,
so you done got you got smashed for $200.
Dawn is wild. I mean, she called him out, though. I mean, that's the basic fundamental power move. Let me fly you out, but with the assumption knowing that they gotta give up the ass because that's why they flying.
But
so
I
mean,
think
that's
women
true.
don't view it like that. I think women view it as a very sweet gesture.
It's not sweet.
So.
They not even upgrading these girls to first class. They're giving them basic 36D.
But that's the way you see it. I mean, I listen to women all the time brag about these things. You know what I'm saying?
Young girls that they like.
And they're not always young. These are very mature women.
Oh, the average
but I
ones.
think they are seeing it.
Dawn is beating up women, men. Like, you is an equal opportunity offender up in this mug. Good God.
I mean, just think if you haven't eaten for a year and somebody throw you some crackers, them the best crackers you've ever had.
Okay,
nobody throwing you on flights. Everybody not flying people everywhere.
Right,
Dawn.
so people are
that's a different kind of guy. Yeah, he gonna get you there.
So y'all are going after the girls who want that.
No,
what I'm saying is the mentality. That's your mentality, but a lot of women are seeing that as a gesture of, oh, he really likes me. They're not seeing it at face value for what it is.
It does make sense.
It does.
Like she said,
it makes sense to you.
No, and she's right. If a guy is like, hey, you out in Indiana, I'm gonna fly you out. Come on and come see me. She's right. I mean, it's still, regardless of how they getting there, it is a gesture. It's a gesture.
Free trip and all that.
I'm coming to DC.
I'm telling you, that's not the mentality.
Yeah,
they not like it's a free trip.
Yeah.
Oh, he really likes me. He wants to fly me out. That's what I'm saying. You have to think about the way it's, I guess, being regurgitated. The way, and maybe he might even gave it to her the way you giving it to us. But I'm saying a lot of women don't view it that way. You are in a minority because you're living like a dude.
Yeah,
so
liquids in the refrigerator only.
Right.
Of course, you think like us, so you offended.
I have liquids in there.
Okay.
I have oranges too.
Right. But I'm telling you, I think they see it different, and that's what I think like brings the oversharing. Because they are so excited.
Yeah.
This is something. I mean, I have girlfriends who literally have not been out on a date in years.
That's crazy.
Not months, years.
Why? What's wrong with them?
Damn.
They don't think anything is wrong with them.
For you not to have a date in years, like no one asked you out, or are people asking them and they're saying no?
I think it's a plethora of reasons. I know I have some girlfriends that literally work, have beautiful homes, have all of the things. You know what I'm saying? And really just not finding the time to.
So they don't want to. That's different. If it's your choice, that's different. But I mean,
I think they want to. I think they are still living in the old mentality, thinking somebody's going to walk up to them when that's not where we are today. Mm-hmm. Everybody is so busy. If you aren't finding love online, you may not find it. I mean, the old school way of, are we really going to clubs at this age? So think about the places that you were meeting guys in your 20s. I met my husband parking lot pimping at the club. You know what I'm saying? At the club. 30-some years ago. I am not going to a club in my 50s. So if I actively want to pursue a man, there's no way I'm going. Where do you go? But
the gas station. Guys always approach me at the gas station. When I'm pumping gas, they just always approach me and ask for, or if I'm inside grabbing like a water, because I don't have nothing but liquids. They'll say something to me. I'm going to tell you, the grocery store at night, you have to go like after like 9:30, 10:30. That's when all the dudes in there. They be having on suits and all that.
But how you feel about that though? You're cool with guys rolling up on you in gas stations and grocery stores?
I mean, they're polite about it. Yes, so listen, it's a way that it's done. If I'm in like Southeast, no, I'm not comfortable with it. But if I'm in my neighborhood, I don't feel that bad.
Well, I mean, like, I like what you were talking about, though, at the beginning. Like, I love social media to a certain extent, but I'm not posting anything personal on there, first of all. And I'm not talking about who I might have dated or, it's just too much. I think, and you look stupid when then 2 months later, he long gone.
They scroll through your feed and be like, oh, she used to date him too?
Yeah, like, it's like, I don't think IG initially was created for that. It was for your personal, what's showing people what you do every day. It wasn't for the whole family. And that's what Facebook is for. People need to learn how to use your social mediums correctly, people. I go with that. But yeah, the oversharing and putting your personal stuff out there, I mean, that can come back to haunt you. It's just not meant for all of that.
And I don't think people have the right to meet your children until they are like, you're absolutely serious.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't even see the point in that.
No
like, why
point
would
in
you
it.
introduce your kids to anybody?
Doesn't make any sense.
Unless it's like, we're getting married. Like, I don't get that.
I am telling you, the way you perceive things can be totally different from the way other women perceive things.
Well,
and I'm not saying that it's the way I perceive things, but I hear the stories all the time. I'm surprised how many times women because I think they are really pushing the narrative that they want to happen. So they feel like, oh, he met my kids, oh, he met my mom, so it definitely, like, I guess, pushes what their end goal is. You know what I mean? And even though it may not be his end goal, they see every little gesture. And I'm not here to bash women by no means, but I'm just saying I hear the stories and I'll be like, what happened to da-da-da? And it's like, oh, it didn't work out. And I'm in my mind like, damn, he introduced them to them kids and all that. Because there's no way in the world. You know what I mean?
There's no point in you knowing.
But people do it
and
on a consistent basis. Adults
and you ain't meeting them.
We're all on the same page. It's universally.
But how do you feel about them meeting your friends?
Again, there's levels.
Is that the same? Because a woman thinks she's in when she meets your friends.
I like you said, I think, it's all about the messaging in both of those meets. Like, if you're around my friends, most likely we're going to be together. Like, I don't introduce everybody to my friends, because that's still my personal circle. Yeah. And I'm definitely like, you're not meeting my kids unless like we truly about to be something. Like, it just doesn't make any sense because it's what we go back to, being clear role models for our kids. I don't want my kids to see this lady come right. every 6 months. You know, like it's just not in my playbook. So I think you just keep it clean, and you should do things at your own pace. Everybody's different, but I'm definitely like, I'm not on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever introduced your kids to anyone? Because how long have you been divorced?
Since 2020.
Okay, so it's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, and they've never met anybody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. It's like I've never met anybody that I felt like it's going to go there. And it's just, again, I just want to keep it clean. I don't want them to be confused on any of those levels. Like, I want them to know that life is all about them right now because they're in their young teens. I'm dad, and I don't want them to mix the waters and muddy the waters with anybody. I just want them to have a clean life and know that dad was always there. And then, down the road, maybe, but it's just, I've never met anybody that was just like, let's make it happen.
I don't even want to meet nobody kids.
Man.
Why you want to do that?
Yo, how many minutes were you on, D? Because we. All right, man.
Like, why you want to meet somebody kids? So, like, what is that proving?
It's like you said.
And then you got to figure out what they gonna call you. They gonna call you Miss Dawn or Dawn or.
Yeah, and like it's a clear escalation. It's an escalation in the relationship. It's period. There's no getting around that.
I think it's because a lot of times women don't have a clearly defined role. Like I was saying earlier, it's like what's common now is these situationships. So they feel like something like that defines their role. Oh, now we must be something if that happens. So they're looking for all these other external factors to define, oh, he's something more to me than just I'm spending the night, busting it open.
And when it's all said and done, they're setting themselves up for failure, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's not a good look overall.
I'm curious, sure, man. I have a question for you.
Oh God, 45 minutes.
I was curious. So, if you like a woman, let's say you like a woman likes you, but you all are not in a relationship, and she feels like she wants more. As women, we tell each other, girl, just leave him alone and trust me, he's going to come. Does that really work?
No. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, a guy
women give women advice all the time.
And I think
so we're just coming to a man.
I think women over there trying to play chess and all these extra moves and things you should do actually basically disqualify themselves with dumb shit. Because they feel like, oh, if you do this and that, he'll do this. Like, guys, we are so primitive in that area. It's just not that deep. Either we like you or we don't.
Right.
Really, like, it's nothing that you're going to be able to do externally to move us into that space. Because we just emotionally, if we like you, we like you. We're going to go out of the way and we're going to show that we like you. If we don't, you'll know you might be all right. But you're not. Yeah, I did a DC, all right. But it don't mean you're going to make it to that next level. And it is what it is. But don't level of manipulation, not picking up the text and texting 10 minutes later. All that stupidity.
10 minutes later, I'm bad.
It's all these things that women talking about amongst themselves that think that they're gonna be able to move a guy, and it's nonsense. It's just dumb. Like we just don't. It's just not something that we feed into as men.
Tell me, what can a woman do to get a man that she wants without being overly aggressive?
Every person, that goes both genders, we just have to be ourselves.
Yeah.
We just gotta be our original, authentic.
But what if she feels like you're her person?
And if it is supposed to be, it's going to be. But if it's not, it's not.
She said, "I'm gonna get you. You mine."
And it don't work that way. It just don't. I think every male in here will tell you that it just don't work that way. Because if the connection isn't there, and I'm just not feeling you, I'm telling you, it's something about relationships, and you know this because we're all in that same group. We know what we like. We know if that person sitting across from us has potential. Right. We know if they got a shot in making it to the next stage. A lot of times we know a large percentage of them they don't. Right. Men feel that same way too. We like, she's cool, but she's just not that take home to mama girl. And it's a wrap after that. You might end up in a certain slot, but trust me, when guys know that you just, to them, whoever that criteria is, for whatever male that is, when they feel like, mama don't need to meet her, it's over. Yeah. I don't care what you do to move the ball and this and that and karate chops, that shit ain't gonna work.
I agree with what you're saying. I just think a lot of times it's not always equal. Like a woman will meet a man and she'll feel like he's checking all the boxes. He is perfect for me. This is what I want. He is ideal. And if you don't feel the same, she does feel like, oh, all I have to do is A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
And then he will come around. Because there have been a lot of cases, and we've seen it happen, where men, when they get to that point that they're ready to be married, they pick who's around a lot of the times. And it's like, you feel like if you stay around long enough, that eventually you'll just be that.
But I think that's, again, why we go back to 45, 50 plus, that doesn't apply. Because
so that's when you're younger.
When you're younger, that equation makes sense. But when you're older and you've been married, you've been in relationships, you're not just picking whoever's around. You're like, that's not how this works.
When your gout flare up.
No, gout or not, I'm going to catch me a nurse. I'm gonna figure it out on my own. But we're not just gonna grab.
There are a lot of men dating out of fear, though. They don't want to be alone if something happens.
But they pressed 65 and shit. Because that's the interesting part about this equation. I'm telling you, that's what happens right now. There are some guys that overstayed their welcome, and motherfuckers be in their 60s, 65s. They worried.
They worried.
They like, I'm 65. My nothing working right now. I don't want. Now that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an equation going on here. Like, some guys are just trying to be like, okay, at a certain age, they like, all right, I'm still good. But they get to that point where they start to say, hey, hold up, I'm
falling apart. I'm falling apart.
If I fall, I need somebody in here. Now your equation comes back into play because they like, hold up, I need to grab something somehow.
And they grab what's right there.
And there we go.
That's those ones looking for hospice wives.
Yep.
Yes,
so
definitely.
It's deep.
Hospice wives. Yeah, that's
all
what
right,
they want.
Ladies. Well, another great conversation.
Yes. Let me go get myself together so I can. Let me go to the gas station.
Well, we definitely want. Again, we want to thank you guys for chiming in to Unspoken. I'm Marcel.
I'm Tanya,
and I am the Dawn.
The Dawn. You can find me on. Go to my website, marcelclarke.co. Buy the book, Hiding in Plain View. You'll love it.
All right, and you can find me at The Real Hair Icon and at McKenna Jordan Salon Bar.
And of course, I am the Dawn, and it's right here below my face. Thank you.
Your Majesty. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit those likes, and please leave feedback in the comment section.
Yeah.